So a quick recap of where we are. I am still trying to get the Gneisenau and Scharnhorst out from Kiel, but waiting for poor weather. I've got the Shear pinned a little bit by the Edinburgh. The British have the Trinidad up there north of Scotland. The two British convoys are making their slow plodding way. I've managed to shorten their trajectories. But really, for me, the big thing is going to be getting that weather switch, and then I can get the battle cruisers out, disrupt the convoys, and back into the ports. But for now, the 5 means the British, whose turn it is, are going to carry out a convoy action. It's going to be the one coming up from Gibraltar heading towards Clyde, Liverpool. So trajectory action for them. I think head up in that direction. Actually, just not sure. Got to be careful that we don't position the British so that they come within range of my airfield. So in fact, they can't come down from the through the channel. They're going to have to go up round the top. And then time lapse. Okay, initiative comes back to me. I want to get away, I think, from the Edinburgh up there, so I'm going to head down for the convoy, I think, and see if I can prevent them from completing. Reached there, I'm going to carry out a naval search. That's 14, 4 on the 14 column. Not brilliant, to be honest. It's early or late. So we're going to remove that. The British are obviously now going to use their evasive manoeuvres marker to remove that segment of the remaining trajectory, and I've rather handed to them the opportunity to complete, so that's not worked very well for me at all. Let's see if the British can seize initiative once I've completed my time lapse. So remove at least that contact marker, that's lost. And the British roll. No, they don't manage to seize initiative, which is at least good for me, because otherwise they'd have a very good chance of completing. So I'm going to I think I'm going to take the risk of coming in and again trying to search, but it does bring me within range of British airfield, so I am going to be susceptible to an airstrike, but I think I just have to do it. You know, that's the field that I'm susceptible from, but it's also where they will, on any search, get a modifier from. So that's going to be a trajectory of 8 on a naval search. So it's 10. Oh, actually, I can't modify because it's 2 hexes away, not 1 hex away. So that does. But anyway, either way, that is a really good result. That is contact and reduces it to a station. So I have identified where the convoy is. I have contact on it, which is going to really help me in future actions, particularly if I can hold on to the initiative. Obviously I'm going to time lapse first. That's 3 segments removed. I'm not down to a station yet. This is going to be quite crucial. Can the British gain initiative? They've got a +1 on the modifier. 9. Yes, they do. Okay, the game swings again. Let's roll for weather. Let's see what the weather does. I'm still waiting for a 6. Oh, a 5. So it stays good. Oh well, interesting. The British roll of 3. That gives an X result, which leads to the formation of an unidentified task force in Scapa Flow with instructions to bring to battle the nearest German task force. So it's going to track down and look to intercept the shear. That's going to be a search action in that hex. With only a 5 length total trajectory, plus air support from the English south coast, and the convoy acting as a coordinating task force. So that gives a modifier of +3 to the die roll. See how they roll. 10. Oh, that's a big result. So that results in contact and identification and a skirmish, and the skirmish means the British task force is now identified. That's 2 heavy cruisers and the Ark Royal aircraft carriers. So we've identified, or the British are identified, the shear in that hex. This could be trouble for them, but because of the Ark Royal, it only travels at medium speed, so that task force is not faster than the shear, and therefore, as it time lapses, the skirmish can be avoided, and the Germans, we've rolled and we've gained back the initiative. Well, that really was a stroke of luck. So avoided the skirmish, gained back the initiative, and a chance to escape that tightening noose. That really was a piece of fortune at the death there. Before we finish, there is nonetheless still a contact marker to be placed to the shear from that naval search, which could make things difficult still. So first roll for the weather, and finally it turns bad. Well, that's going to make things interesting. So the first thing I need to do is get the shear out of the clutches of that British task force, even if it means abandoning the pursuit of the convoy. I'm going to head south towards the rendezvous point. I've got to remove one of those rendezvous for the game to be able to end. So that is one of the sort of end game conditions. So perhaps getting that done early at least opens up the options for me. So that's done, and now the Scharnhorst and the Kaiser now, that the wrong way up, now need to make use of the bad weather if they can to get out of Kiel and into open water. though they are now going to find the Atlantic is a busier place than it was at the start of the game. So they're gonna head sort of standard route really up towards Iceland. They've got the protection of the air base in Trondheim. Just wondering whether to go through the Trondheim Hex or just I'll go make a quicker route up towards the top of Iceland, around the top of Iceland into the Arctic Circle. Not sure how far to extend that really. I'm just going to go that far. I don't know, I'm not sure. Push one on, I don't know. Anyway, let's do that. And now a time lapse, and because it's bad weather we roll a dice for time lapse and remove that number of pips, and I'm going to use the Raider all pass so that both task forces can time lapse. So let's do the shear first. And a 6. Oh wow, that was quite a roll. That removes all the segments, and the shear is going to turn, quite fortunately, into a station at that rendezvous point. So when the initiative comes back to us, I'll be able to activate that rendezvous. Now let's see whether I can get an equally good roll for the task force out of Kiel. I'd like to get away from well, that's not much use. So we are now slightly exposed because we are within range of the British airfields, and that's left me in a slightly tricky position. Still, back to the British. So we roll, and a 6 means the weather has very quickly turned back from bad to good. Now a 1 on the British action table results in an airstrike, so they're going to launch from Scarpa Flow, attack the Gneisenau and Scharnhorst. It's a trajectory of 9 with the support from Scarpa Flow's air support, a +2, and the result from that is a 10, which means contact and a slow result, but those ships are fast, so if they were slow they would have taken a hit, but in this instance that's not too bad. So I'm now going to buy initiative on the back of that. The Allies retain the initiative. Just clear those away, and once again are going to roll on their action table a 6. So that results in a convoy action. So the convoy just off the west coast of Ireland is now going to sorry, not a convoy, a complete action, beg your pardon. So trajectory, bringing it into Liverpool. I'm gonna get a chance at this point to try and seize the initiative. I should have had a +1 already for having failed to seize the initiative earlier on, so I get a +1. See if I can do that and hinder the attempt to complete. No, that's not going to work, so I get another increase there. So that convoy completes, and those will be the first points. Not a lot I could do about that at that point, once the British task force had turned up.